Deshaun Tate here from Tate's Take, where basketball lives. As you know, standing here on the campus of Michigan State University, just outside of the new home of Emoni Bates, the Gilbert Pavilion side of the Jack Breslin Student Event Center. Unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that Bates, who is the number one player in the country of the class of 2022 out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, but not just the number one player in that class, but of all classes on any level on the high school circuit, who, after receiving Gatorade National Player of the Year honors, he also happens to be the Michigan State Spartans' biggest commitment for basketball in school history. Yes, even over this guy standing to my right with the statue, Irvin Magic Johnson, who led the program to the 1979 national championship. Now, I know that there's a lot of rumors swirling around and a lot of speculation as to whether we will see or won't see Bates dress up in the green and white. We all know that there is other options out there. Probably the elephant in the room, that consensus everybody would pretty much agree with, being the NBA. It's yet to be determined as to whether Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, will or will not lift the age requirement for Bates and anybody coming in that class of 2022 or after that. It's still yet to be determined as well as to whether he will reclassify or not. But the G League is another option, which I would imagine if Bates was to entertain that option, that the G League would probably throw him somewhere north, bare minimum, of $750,000. So that's a nice little chunk of change for a kid who's right around 18 or 19 years old and not old enough to buy tobacco products just yet. He draws a lot of comparisons to Kevin Durant, as you can imagine, one of the most prolific scorers not only currently in the NBA, but also in NBA history. As we peel off more layers to the onion of the Emoni Bates saga, one thing that we want to keep in mind after talking to him right around about a year or so ago, after saying that Michigan State, Tom Izzo being one that has offered him, two of the only schools that have offered him. Kentucky was high on his list, as well as Duke. He said he chose Michigan State because of the family atmosphere and how much Tom Izzo really cares about his players. So I know there's been a lot of conversation in the past in regards to Michigan State not being able to land the top recruits. We all know the names from past history: Jabari Parker, Cliff Alexander, Vernon Carey, Josh Jackson. That didn't happen this time around. Congratulations to Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans on landing Emoni Bates, who I've heard from many people say that this is the best high school player that they've ever seen play in their life. That's LeBron James included. For more, be sure to follow along on social media at Tate's Take Hoops, TATESTAKEHOOPS, of course, where basketball lives. Also, be sure to follow along on YouTube, the podcast on that particular platform. That is on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Red Circle, anywhere that you find your favorite podcast. This is Deshaun Tate with Tate's Take, where basketball lives.